Hey, this is Dennis. It's Thursday. I want to get back in the Bible study. We're in the book of Acts, chapter 27. We're going to start with verse 27. And when the 14th night was come, as we were driven up and down in Adria, about midnight the shipmen deemed that they drew near to some country, and sounded, and found it 20 fathoms, and when they had gone a little further, they sounded again and found it 15 fathoms. Then fearing lest we should have fallen upon rocks, they cast 4 anchors out of the stern and wished for the day. And as the shipmen were about to flee out of the ship, when they had let down the boat into the sea, under color, as though they would have cast anchors out of the foreship, Paul said to the centurion and to the soldiers, "Except these abide in the ship, ye cannot be saved." So he said, except all of y'all stay in the ship. You got to stay in the ship. If y'all jump out, you're going to die. Then the soldiers cut off the ropes of the boat and let them fall away. And while the day was coming on, Paul besought them all to take meat, saying, "This day is the 14th day that ye have tarried and continued fasting, having taken nothing." So they'd been out there in trouble on that boat for 14 days and had been fasting. And I'm sure a bunch of them was praying too. "Wherefore I pray you to take some meat, for this is for your health. For there shall not a hair fall from the head of any of you." Not the first one is going to lose the first hair. That's what Paul told him. And when he had thus spoken, he took bread and gave thanks to God in the presence of them all. And when he had broken it, he began to eat. Then were all they of good cheer. They also took some meat. So they cheered them up and they went to eat. And we were all in the ship, 216 souls. That's 276 people. And when they had eaten enough, they lightened the ship and cast out the wheat into the sea. And when it was day, they knew not the land, but they discovered a certain creek along the shore, into which they were minded, if it were possible, to thrust in the ship, put the ship in there. And when they had taken up the anchors, they committed themselves under the sea and loosed the rubber bands and hoisted up the mainsail to the wind and made toward shore. And falling into a place where 2 seas met, they ran the ship aground, and the forepart stuck fast and remained unmovable, but the hinder part was broken with the violence of the waves. And the soldiers' counsel was to kill the prisoners, lest any of them should swim out and escape. But the centurion, willing to save Paul, kept them from their purpose, and commanded that they could swim. Well, let me see that again. And commanded that they which could swim, everybody that could swim, should cast themselves first in the sea and get the land, and the rest on some boards and some broken pieces of the ship. And so it came to pass, they escaped all safe to the land. Every one of them. Just like Paul told them. 276 of them. Well, God bless y'all. I hope you have a good day. Walk with God one day at a time.